axis in order, because the hypothalamus is the brain's brain, okay? So the hypothalamus sends releasing hormones to the pituitary, and then pituitary sends stimulating hormones to all of your body to make your whole endocrine system work. And it's this incredible concert of hormones and really these increasing, decreasing, and it's just this magical celebration going on each and every day of your body taking care of you.
Hello and welcome back to Celluverse. My name is Alana Keneally and I'm here with the one and only Dr. Keneally.
Hello, everyone.
And of course, Jess Donovan.
Hi.
And we're so excited to be back with you guys. We were traveling for a little bit. And yeah, you were in Bali, right?
I was in Bali. My family and I went to Bali for 3 weeks. The first week, everyone got sick besides me. And I have to thank Mago 7 for not getting sick. I think that's like the combo when you go somewhere where you could possibly get some stomach issues. Activated charcoal at night.
Wait, what is it? Mago
7.
Mago 7.
So you take activated charcoal, right. 30 minutes later, take Mago 7. So it's like flushes everything out. Nothing can stay in you. And I think
that's what protected you.
That's what protected me. And a lot of prayer. Not so much for my family.
They're not praying enough.
They weren't.
That's when they got dengue. Wait, they didn't get dengue fever.
No, that's from the mosquitoes.
That's from the mosquitoes. But that's like what we've been joking about that they've been fighting. But exactly. They got Bali belly.
It was just Bali belly. Yeah.
And they were like throwing up or the other way.
It was all of the above.
All of the ways.
Luckily for my oldest, he got like a quick 24-hour thing. And then Sean and Frankie, they got sick while we were at a beach club. So they were like fighting for their lives.
Hot.
They were fighting for their lives at a beach club. And we like couldn't leave till like 8 p.m. because like they were too sick to leave the beach. It was insane.
What a vibe.
It was really special. I recommend it to everyone. What about you guys? What about your trip?
Well, we went to Saudi Arabia. They were introducing longevity to
the country.
And so it was an amazing experience. And we had a fabulous time.
Yeah, we had a lot of adventures. It started off rocky. And then Mom almost got us deported in this country of Jordan.
Because they were at midnight, we were in Jordan getting ready to go to Saudi Arabia, and they're looking at my vitamin pack, and they're like, what is this? And then they called 6 people to come.
Well, what happened is they they called like the whole team to investigate her. To be fair, when I was like, there's like 100 little baggies of mysterious substances in your supplement bag. Like, why are we doing that?
But there were a lot. And so Alana's trying to explain. She's just a menopausal woman. She needs all these
I was
things.
oscillating between telling Mom to calm down. I was like, you're drawing attention to us. Taking away her supplement bag, they're not followers. They're not Instagram followers. No. It's like taking a lamb chop from a pit bull. They were like, she was getting in their face. And I was like, let's calm down. Like, it's midnight.
So I'm pulling out my lecture that I'm going to be doing.
You're matching like the vitamin to the lecture. Yeah. Like, this is really important. If I don't take this, how am I going to say this?
She was like, this herb is for jet lag. I'm like, they're not even following their 17-step supplement routine.
Right.
But we were about to convert them to followers though after that.
Yes.
They were
they finally like, okay, you guys are crazy. You can go.
You're like, don't worry, subscribe and follow.
It was kind of scary, honestly, because it was like in the middle of the night and there wasn't like an American in sight, and they were like, please step aside. And everyone was staring at us. And
not that an American would understand her medicine cabinet she brought.
No one could. There's mysteries in there. I suddenly am on their side. I'm like, why did you pack it this way?
Stop. Everyone does it.
You're like, honestly, don't let her bring it in. It's not safe.
No, but she was like, if they take this away, like we will be returning to the States. I was like, oh gosh. It was a rocky start.
But on the way back, nothing happened.
They told everyone about you. They're like, listen.
Right. They warned everybody.
Yeah, if you see this woman passing through, just let her go. We don't want any problems. We don't know what that concoction does.
Mind you, the people they called in, they weren't even wearing airport uniforms. Like, they brought in drug specialists to understand what she was. Not even kidding.
They brought Scooby-Doo himself.
Understand. And then we landed in Riyadh at 5 a.m.
5 a.m. at Riyadh, ready to go to sleep.
Yeah.
So.
Mom did an interview with Gary Brecka. He was really nice. I'm happy to report. I don't know who he is really, but apparently he's a big deal. And he was really, yeah, he's really nice.
Yes, he was very kind.
Other patrons, I can't say the same.
Right.
Some other headliners.
We're not nice people. Some people
They just didn't want to be there.
Maybe
Right.
their supplements were confiscated.
Probably. We'll give them the benefit of the doubt.
Happened.
That's what happened.
Well, it's kind of sad though, because here you have all these great people from all over the world, and part of the art of medicine is having compassion, understanding, and sympathy for humanity. And they didn't really want to show that part.
But it was fun. We
had
got
a great
there
time.
really early
We had a
in the
great time.
week. It was kind of giving White Lotus minus the murders. Like we just stayed at the hotel and relaxed. And Mom made that hotel her
A domain.
her own domain. Like she ran that place.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. Everyone was actually lovely. All the people in the hotel. It was a very beautiful hotel, and it's a hotel that had Saudi Arabia as its foundation. They wanted to mimic the history and art of Saudi Arabia, so it was like perfect. And then they had this amazing center called Diria, and Alana started calling me Diria.
No, I didn't.
Yes, she did. Anyway,
I said, "You're my
'cause,
Diria
dear,
every
my
day."
Diria, you know.
The city we stayed in was Diria. I said, "Oh, you're my Diria."
And so it was this beautiful place, beautiful. It was restaurants and shops. And then it was just built around a garden. And I thought, oh my gosh, how beautiful is that to have the garden incorporated in a shopping place. So
Amazing.
And they
was
don't
great.
drink there, and so we drink so many mocktails every single day.
yes, that was our treat every day. Was what mocktail are we going to have today? And they made them so well. So I said, Alana, we've got to really
Step up your game.
yes, and perfect this.
Wow.
And really be creative and come up with something. So
But yeah, it was cool. Learned something. It was like a whole longevity. Iman from Biohack invited us, and we were lucky to attend.
yes.
Mom did a good speech. Trying to think of other highlights that happened.
What was the speech on?
It was basically prevention of cancer, other forms of treatment of cancer besides just surgery, chemo, and radiation. And basically also talking about, like, there's so much ample time to prevent cancer because it's a 10-year disease. And that once you get cancer, don't operate out of fear, operate with strategy and tactics and a plan, because the conventional treatment of surgery, chemo, and radiation isn't working, and cancer diagnoses are only exploding. So our paradigm of medicine with cancer has got to change. So
Beautiful.
Yeah, the events were incredible.
Can you like listen to any of this online? Or is it
well,
you had to be there?
That's a great question, because I was going to request all the recordings. So I know they're going to really do this for the people there to learn, the doctors to learn, but also I think they're going to create a documentary on it.
Oh, wow. Stay tuned.
Yeah, because it was so professionally done. And there was so much phenomenal information.
Yeah.
So from everything from medicine, from the art of medicine to plastic surgery to skin and everything we do to our skin, how that affects us. So there was this
That's fun.
interesting lady from England that she's an MD, probably 70 something. So she's been around, and it was just lots of great information. Really, really good information. So I think it encapsulated like lots of different topics that anyone would be interested in. So, and they had these very unbelievable, beautiful parties at night. So they were literally most magnificent things. And so it was a very great experience. Met lots of people. Lots of people live in Dubai. All different European.
We should do a trip to Dubai.
Yeah, so they've already invited me to go to a Dubai longevity. So
Oh.
yeah, So, but it's everyone Dubai is like sizzling, and
So fun.
Yeah, so I've never been there, but it would probably be an interesting experience.
How was the coffee?
We drank so many lattes. It was great.
What was the milk situation like?
Great.
Perfect.
Food was good.
Perfect.
We were like, keep them coming until
Yeah,
we
perfect.
say this.
It was great. The coffee's great.
We had
And
like
That was my
lattes.
bone to pick with Bali. Was their
Really?
milk? It just
Was weak.
was weak, and I was like, "There's so many cows everywhere." I'm like, "Just give me one."
Why is it not high quality milk?
Well, there's like a few brands that are pretty cool, but it's just like hard to get your hands on, and so they use like most places use this A2 milk from Australia.
Oh, interesting.
But it's homogenized, so it's like like when they mix the fat and the cream, and it just lays flat. It doesn't do much for me. And so I feel like I was like drinking less coffee because I wasn't excited about the milk. It just felt
What milk do you buy here? Again, like what's your go-to?
Claravel.
Oh, you stick with Claravel. Got it.
It's just easiest. I had a milk guy for a while, but that got really complicated. So Claravel's like my go-to.
Fancy. Yeah. What didn't you say the rest of the food was kind of interesting?
In Uluwatu, it was very westernized, I would say. So it was like hard to find a good place to eat because like everything was very greenwash, where it was like healthy, natural, and you're like, what does any of this mean, So it was hard to trust them. And then, but once we got to Ubud, it was we stayed at this place called Bamboo Inda, and everything there was like very thoughtfully done. Like Dr. Gundry helps do the menu there. So like everything was just like really great and amazing. So once we got to Bamboo Inda, I was so happy.
That's great. And no Bali Bali there.
Absolutely not. Even the like sinks to like wash your hands were filtered. So
Oh, that's good.
it was beautiful and amazing.
Well, we're happy to be back at home in America. Nothing feels like home,
Right. You
God's
like
country.
You like your routine. Everybody goes away and they're like, oh, I'm so glad to be back home. I just think people like their routine. They like to be around their friends and community.
Yeah,
and all that good stuff.
I love going grocery shopping like 3 times a day. It makes me happy. Like trying to drag my entire family to random grocery stores in Bali, not the vibe.
But it's a very exploratory experience.
Yes.
Going into grocery stores in other countries. So.
Yes.
So fun. All right, we should jump into Pulse Check where we dive into the like latest health stories, health news. And this week there was a news report that came out that like women are no longer synchronizing their menstrual cycles with the moon. They analyzed over 11,000 menstrual records spanning over 4 decades. And before 2010, women's cycles were significantly more likely to sync up with the phases of the moon, especially the full and the new moon. But after 2010, that vanished. Possibly the reason is LED lighting and screens. So
like, what is it saying? Like, do we want to bleed with the full moon? Is that...
Yeah, so you want to have your menstrual cycle sync up 28 days with the moon, with the most with the ovulation occurring on the full moon.
Oh, ovulation on the full moon.
Women's ovulation, yeah, used to in the olden days, women's ovulation most commonly occurred on the full moon.
Wow.
And that's why weddings were planned on the full moon, because conception was considered a blessing on the couple's new like this cycle right after marriage.
Oh, interesting.
So when light and fertility was believed to be at its peak, the first lunar month after marriage, the honeymoon, was a time of sacred conception. That's a one-off, but yeah.
Well, it just shows, first of all, how we're interconnected with the entire planet, and how civilization, whether it's LED, electromagnetic fields, all these
Your
things,
yoga pants.
things that we're trying to interfere with the natural law and order of nature, and how it's affecting us. And I think that has a lot to do with the incredible rates of illness, sickness, and disease we're seeing, is that we're getting disconnected with nature. and we're having to prescribe forest bathing, for example, to be in nature, to get sunshine, to get the things that you did when you were young. You were outside and you played outside, and you went to the ocean or the parks, and then, but everybody's inside under LED lights. They're electrically connected to iPads and phones and all kind of things, and wireless is going all around us. And then people probably aren't eating the nutritional foods because, all the food doesn't have minerals in it. And the minerals affect the electrical activity of the body. And then you put stress on top of that. So,
and all the like hormone disruptors of like what you're wearing, what you're putting on your body, what you're putting inside your body. If you're like using a contraceptive, like it's so hard to even monitor what
the real etiology is. And it's always multifactorial. We want to think it's just one thing, but it's probably
all of it, everything.
It's the entire milieu of what's going on.
I think it's more also like how removed we have become from our environment. Like Mother Earth is a woman, we call it Mother Earth. We don't call it, like Father Earth. And women are like such earthly beings, and the flow of our entire menstrual cycle is dictated by the moon. The moon like even dictates the fluids of not just the fluids of women, but the fluids of the ocean.
Right.
And so that's why historically they would recommend you like spend time under the moon when you had a disrupted menstrual cycle. And we kind of forget that the earth is like very wise, and we try to outsmart it with like birth control, and there's consequences.
And you can't outsmart Mother Nature. Mother knows best, always.
And we've done it for billions of years. Like we forget that like the human modernity is such a short blip in time.
Right. And we need to honor the sacred order of the miracle we live in.
I wonder how many women would be able to get pregnant if they returned to being under the moon.
Mm-hmm. Well, and all the things that we're talking about.
Yeah.
We need to really work at getting back to nature and getting back to the natural order of things.
Yeah. It's also like symbolic, like the more time women spend on their phones and TikTok, the more they're just removed. It's almost like you go into a grocery store and you forget that like steak came from an animal. It's like,
it's also like showing that you're like disconnected from people too. Cause when you're around, like the women that you're around, you usually sync your like menstrual cycle up with them. So if you don't have a community that you're around, how can you sync up? Like,
yeah,
right.
We synced up.
We did.
Just from talking, really. We lived in states apart and we synced up.
I know.
So it's really powerful if you put your heart into it.
Yeah, I know. I'm like been tracking my ovulations so scientifically because I'm
welcome.
I know you're like welcome to this. I just, I never had a reason to, and it is really fascinating. Oh my gosh, I guess my ovulation did sync up with the full moon.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Because the full moon was Wednesday.
And I texted you. I was like, I text her all my like, I know, I'm sorry. You're so involved in my menstrual cycle.
I'm the real menstrual cycle app. I'm like, yep, that's a strong LH.
When I ovulated, we did it, Joe.
If you can't text your friend your LH strips, like is that even your friend?
Mom, the cycle apps they have these days, they're so cool.
I wish they would have had. I remember when I was trying to get pregnant because it was so difficult to get pregnant, and here I am. I never had a regular menstrual cycle, so I never really had the natural order from my mother taking DES, and so my girlfriend was OB-GYN, and so I said, like, okay, I want to get pregnant right now. And so I didn't have a menstrual cycle, so she gave me Clomid. Clomid is a drug to create the hypothalamic pituitary axis to create ovulation. And so I start taking it, and here I am every day, like an experiment in your bathroom, when you're going to ovulate, when you ovulate. Okay, nothing happened. I'm like, oh, this is not good. So then she goes, okay, double your dose. Okay, well, I doubled my dose. Nothing. So I was like, but I was having a menstrual cycle. At least I was having. So then she's like, no, you have got to go see infertility specialists because this is not working like it should. So then
you did IVF or
no, I did IUI. Intrauterine insemination.
When would you do that versus IVF?
Well, if IUI, intrauterine insemination, where they put the mother is ovulating and then they put the sperm.
They have kits do that at home now.
Yeah.
Frida baby has IUI.
Well, I tried to do it myself personally.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Literally. Because
you did it before it was big.
yeah, right. No, the sperm came in cryobanks because my husband at the time, we tried to do a reversal.
Was that like a big box?
No, it's like a cryo tank. Just
It's
imagine
just a cryo
oxygen.
tank.
So it was a cryo tank. They came, and here I am.
You're like, my
it's
sperm's here.
It was an experiment.
That's
it was
crazy.
like big experiment. I was doing it though all by myself because like that's how it was, right? And so you had these little vials of sperm, and then you put it on a special thing, kind of like if you know like what a diaphragm looks like. Mm-hmm. It was kind of like that, and then you put it inside of you. So,
do people usually try that before they do the full IVF?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Right.
I feel like I always hear people just go doing IVF. I don't hear them.
I feel like sometimes it's like you also hear the generalization of it.
Okay.
So like if you don't really know the person who's doing it,
right,
and you're getting it repeated it from someone else, they're like, oh, they're doing IVF.
Got
but like
it.
if you were talking to the actual source, it might be IUI.
IUI. Got it.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Interesting. Well, I guess women, that's kind of, I don't know. I guess there's implications about not syncing up to the moon that we can't probably fully understand.
Mm-hmm.
But
I think it's absolutely fascinating. I just think it's just, you just see the miraculous nature of your body. And like, we need to really pay attention to this information. And I think if we start really applying the incredible, miraculous nature of the circadian rhythm and how our body works, and like really take a moment to slow down and just be mindful and conscious of how we live each and every day. Instead of we just kind of rush and run through life and everything, but just really take a moment to, one, learn about your body, because I think people decide to learn about their body when pain comes, when they get a diagnosis of something. Then they kind of go, oh, I got to learn how my body works. And like, instead, we should be teaching from the time our baby's born how the body works and how we need to create that rhythm for our children. When you create that rhythm for their children, that's how they live their whole life.
Yeah, you have to like sit and like respect how it should be instead of like trying to hack everything.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Like,
right.
I'm under all these LED lights, but like, let me hack it by putting a red light in front of my face instead of just being like, how can we return?
Yeah. I wonder, how there's like wellness retreats. I wonder if there would be like lunar retreats where women can like go learn about the moon and the menstrual cycle and like spend time under the moon. And maybe it was like a way of getting, that could be like the next trend in 10 years.
It sounds a little insufferable though. Like, I mean, it sounds beautiful, but like,
right.
do it with your friends. I think in a big group, it just might be a little much.
Yeah.
But sometimes you need.
Might be a little like turn kind of culty vibe. Little cuckoo for sure. But I don't know. A lot of women can't get pregnant. Like maybe that's what we need. Like something crazy.
There's always a reason why.
Really?
I think. Obviously, yeah, there's a reason to everything. Yeah. It's not like it's just an unexplained infertility. There's always a reason why.
Yeah, when they say idiopathic, which means like for unknown cause, there's always the cause. We just didn't find it. So if you don't look for it, you can't find it. So.
Well, it's crazy because like we know that like fish and sea animals, like their reproductive timing is all dictated by like the lunar cycles and the moon, and we're no different.
We're no different, right? That's why we're all interconnected.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, next up on Pulse Check, we have, I guess, you see these pop up in the news, but Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner their daughter calls for post-COVID mask mandates at a UN speech. So that's
what
happening.
exactly is she saying? Is she saying like indoor spaces? She wants the masks back?
The teen advocated for clean air infrastructure.
But that's not clean air.
Wait, while wearing. So to combat unmitigated infection and reinfection.
Well, if you think about though, the infections are all about the terrain. It's not about the bug. You know, Louis Pasteur, who said, oh, it's all about the bug. And then on his deathbed, because Antoine Beauchamp was his student, and he said it was all about terrain. And then Louis Pasteur finally submits and surrenders and says, you are right. It's all about the terrain. So everything's about the terrain. So there are people who get infections, whether they wear a mask or not. Not to mention, first of all, you never want to have anything interrupting and interfering with the breath of life. So your lungs, you know, there's what keeps you alive. So, and then the masks are usually toxic. So unless you, like when we had to wear masks, I bought a mask made of silver instead of wearing something that has chemicals and toxins and suffocating, and I could actually breathe properly. And so, and also the mask didn't work. So, but it's not really about the bug. It's about the terrain.
Yeah, I agree. It's about the presence of strength.
I
and
think
health.
she's like an immune compromised individual.
You think?
No, I'm pretty sure that's like a thing that she talks about.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So if you're immune compromised, why are you immune compromised? Okay. Because she's 19.
Yeah.
You're at 19, you should be the pillar of health.
And she has like incredible access to any doctor.
Correct. Right. But you don't need a doctor. You need
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like,
to
if she
practice
is
self-care.
if she's as sick as she is or whatever she has, it's like she
has the resources.
You're a 19-year-old that got to go speak in front of the UN. You could see a few doctors.
Yeah, and you
know?
could get some really good people to direct and guide you
Yeah.
to optimal health and well-being.
Yeah, because
Who's like calling, being like, we need Violet? Get Violet. Like,
get Violet on the phone. We need her at the UN right now.
Well, 19 years old.
I don't know who their PR person is, but I'm sure she was
like, why do we
requesting
have to
go
care?
speak.
I don't even care what Ben Affleck thinks, or like, I don't. They're actors. I don't care what they have to say about health. Like, why do we have to? Why are they forcing this on us? I don't care.
Right. Exactly.
They're jesters. They're jester maxing. I miss the olden days when actors were like the lower castes, like the lower levels of the society, because they were jesters.
The good old days. How old were you when that was a thing?
Exactly.
Tell me about those yesteryears.
Good old days.
Yeah, exactly.
We wouldn't have to care.
I mean, I love a celebrity to look at. I don't really need to
hear what they have to say.
Yeah.
But I actually think this is like a bigger issue of like what an entire generation that was raised in the pandemic thinks about the environment and health, and a lot of it's a big commentary about what they feel about like sanitation, because this is like a generation that in a lot of ways is like cares a lot about how clean and like everything has to be filtered, you know, constant filtration at the risk of safety.
Right.
And I think like our generation, the 90s and moms, there was this understanding that life wasn't always going to be safe, you know, and it shouldn't be.
Well, you want to have constant stressors because that's how your body adapts and gets stronger. So whether it's, they call it hormesis, so a little bit of bad thing makes you stronger. So that's why there's never going to be a stress-free life. Like life is going to be stressful. And, you know, it's funny because I don't know when the podcast with that I did in Saudi Arabia is going to come out, because he's like, okay, I never end my podcast without like asking people, remember Alana? And so, and I said that we all need to work towards equanimity. His jaw dropped.
He loved that word.
He did. His jaw dropped and he's like, what? I never heard of that. So So anyway, so
what is it?
equanimity. So
Jess doesn't know
equanimity
either.
comes from Latin. Animus is spirit, being of equal spirit all day. Because life is going to throw you curveballs and detours, okay? And it's going to happen every day. Like, your kids aren't perfect every day. They're whatever they're doing, and your husband, and whatever else you're going to run into. And we have to learn how to, like, okay, stay calm, cool, and collected. Let me not think with my heart. Let me think with my brain, my intellect. What is my strategy here to take care of this situation?
Yeah, when I was younger, my mom would take me on runs because I was homeschooled, so that was our PE. So you go on runs, and if I didn't go like the exact same route every time, it would just like mess my brain up. And my mom started to see that pattern that like if we did a different route, like I would just like not be okay with it. So we would be on a run, and she'd be like, "Get off the curb. Get back on the curb, start singing, stop singing, tell me this, tell me that." So she was constantly doing things to like mess me up in a way so that I could just like roll with that. So now I can go on a run and you could just drop me off anywhere and I'll just be like, it's okay, we'll figure it out. But like when I was younger, if I didn't have that, that little mental training,
consistency.
Yeah.
Which is the worst thing for anybody, because your mom was way ahead of your time. She was developing neuroplasticity already. Because you don't want the same routine, same everything. You want to change it up all the time.
Yeah.
And that's whatever it is, whether it's eating, exercise. That's why you do different exercises. That's why you take different walks, because of your developing strength and power and neuroplasticity, all the time. So,
yeah. So now I'm here with my 5-year-old having to teach him about that.
Wait, which one of your kids is kind of like that?
Lucky.
That makes sense. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good idea because it makes you non-fragile, And that's maybe something that this like new Gen Zoomers, what are they called? I don't know, Gen X, or I don't know actually.
I'm not sure what they
But this generation is like very concerned with perfection. It kind of comes through even on like cancel culture, how we expect everyone to. I mean, if you make like one mistake, it can really hurt your career, and the way they view like mistakes and.
Yeah, it's like so performative too.
Yeah.
And people, the last time I looked, are not perfect.
And neither is our environment.
And neither is anything.
Yeah.
And it's all about how we can live excellently. So if we make a mistake, why can't we have people say, "Oh, I just want to point out something to help you grow and get better"? What about that concept?
Yes, Mom.
Yeah, well, it's true. It's like, why are we being denigrated? We should all be encouraging spirits each and every day.
Yeah. What's like the Japanese pottery that like when you like break something and then you like put it back together and then it's,
yeah,
I don't even know what it's called, but I know it's a beautiful idea. You should all look into it, guys.
Anyways, I don't want to say too much because it does seem like she has like, she's immunocompromised, but also maybe there's like a mental health component here.
Eldest daughter.
Oh, really?
She's got a lot on her plate.
She's like putting it all on her shoulders. Like,
yeah,
what's happening? I don't know. It's always important to remember she's like, this is a reaction to some sort of parenting.
Also,
issues.
she's 19 and she has access to be on like the public stage. Whereas like if I was in front of the UN when I was 19, I'd be like explaining why I was Team Edward or something. Like nobody needed that. Nobody wanted that. And I think it's really important that, not to discount what like the youth has to say, but like don't hold this over her for the rest of her life because she's 19 and we gotta say
fools.
some foolish things on the internet sometimes.
So true. Okay. Mom, they should put you on the UN. I love you.
Yeah, let's get her at the Miss Saudi Arabia.
Yeah. Okay. So the body map topic for today, where we deep dive into one big topic. Someone actually requested this. They DM'd us and they said, since the holidays are coming up, you guys should do an episode on alcohol. So I thought, yeah, that's a great idea. And we actually asked to talk about alcohol a lot because people have noticed we don't talk about it as negatively on Instagram as you would think, I guess, when you talk about like carcinogens and what causes cancer. There's actually an intentional reason behind that. I'm not convinced that it's like I mean, I'm always thinking about Pareto's principles, like what is the 80-20 of what causes cancer? And I think it's like, my opinion is estrogen, polyunsaturated fats, and stress, usually at the forefront, not necessarily alcohol. So that's kind of why we don't harp on it every single day, as some people would expect maybe. But like anything, there's pros and cons. Alcohol's no exception.
Correct. Well, we know that alcohol, the World Health Organization says it is a carcinogen. But it's one of 2 million carcinogens that we're being affected by. So we have to, but I always look at like history, and alcohol has always been used like as a celebratory, as something like your relationship building, and everything is about how you live and how you live in moderation. And so I think that there's just something ceremonial about it sometimes. Like when people in wedding, you toast the bride and groom, or you congratulate someone. And I think it's like anything. You don't want to be in excess.
Yeah. I think the energy behind when you're drinking it too, it's like or your state of mind. It's with anything, alcohol or food, or even the shows that you watch, anything that you intake. If you're doing it out of a place of like lack or depression, or like you're not or anger, and you go to that substance, that's not going to be the answer. It's probably going to make things worse. But if you're doing it in a celebratory way, or, you're having great conversation, you're having great dinner, and you're drinking, like, it could only benefit, in my opinion. But
it can only enhance. Yeah.
But I understand that like too much of anything isn't good.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, it's interesting that you say that, because people's guards go down when they drink alcohol. They become more vulnerable. Mm-hmm. So the relationship gets deeper because of that.
Yeah.
Because people are willing to expose themselves. So then you understand the person, because if they're right and rigid and regulated and controlled all the time, and then they drink alcohol. I know, because I've seen it with, friends, and you're like, oh wait, they're a whole different person.
Yeah, their body warms up, which is like so good.
Yes, and so they become warm and caring and more loving, and so again, it's alcohol, no question, is a toxin. And when it's converted to acetaldehyde, that is what causes the DNA breakage and effects on the body. And so, but I think if you have special situations, that you use it as a time of it really helps enhance.
Yeah, and we were just talking about like, putting little stressors on your life is good for you.
Yes.
And it, like, in how you were saying, like, it does, bring your guard down. So if you are around people that you love and care about, that's such a beautiful thing to open up and be able to like enjoy that time with them and be vulnerable with them. Yeah. And whereas if you're around strangers and you're in a weird environment and you're opening yourself up, you're like, what are you opening yourself up to? So just being conscious of like how you partake.
Yeah.
Right. And alcohol, there is the disease of alcoholism.
Yeah.
And so we have to be mindful of that. And people use alcohol as medicine. Mm-hmm. I just need to zone out. So I'm going to drink a bottle of wine tonight. And that's a problem. So, and anything in excess, whatever it is, too much of anything, too little of anything is not good for us. And so, but there are people who can have the genetic predisposition to be an alcoholic. Mm-hmm. And so we have to be mindful of that. And the person ingesting that needs to be mindful, because I know lots of people who have died from alcoholism. Mm-hmm. And I've had patients, their family members have died from alcoholism. So, and the inability to stop. So but food is addicting. Drugs are addicting. Scrolling and your phone is addicting. So it's all about being mindful and conscious of what you're doing, because every decision you make is a healthcare decision.
Yeah, I think Ray Pete had a lot of interesting thoughts on alcohol, because I don't know. I think on social media, there's like no room for nuance, and people can't even imagine that alcohol could be a nutrient or something you use as a tool, just like we use, supplements as a tool or whatever. But he seemed to think that when people were alcoholics, they had some sort of often like hormonal imbalance
or nutrient deficiency,
specifically B vitamin deficiency. So like if you were craving alcohol, you may have a B vitamin deficiency.
And alcohol creates B vitamin deficiency. That's what they give the patient in the emergency room.
It's like a vicious cycle, which a lot of those health problems are.
Right.
And then, he stated things around how in the absence of polyunsaturated fats, the alcohol doesn't cause cirrhosis or fatty liver. And so I also think it's like the purity of the vessel that imbibes alcohol has a lot to do with its effects, because in my mind, if you don't have a lot of polyunsaturated fat in your body, then it probably is actually okay and maybe possibly helpful. But if you have like already a really fatty liver and you're eating a lot of PUFA, it's not going to be good.
It's going to be a bomb.
Right. And then there's people who have fatty liver who never drink a drop.
Well, yeah, because fatty liver is caused by like stress and what you eat.
And toxicity and what you eat. Exactly.
So but it can worsen the fatty liver because alcohol gets metabolized through the liver.
Right.
And so when you're overbearing the liver with not just alcohol, also polyunsaturated fats, it's like
pollution, everything else.
So some like tips that I wrote out in advance of this that I also have in my PDF, like I have a little PDF about how to think about food, but you really don't want to consume alcohol with polyunsaturated fats and instead do saturated, like coconut oil.
Right. And fruit, they say too. Combine it with fruit.
Yeah, I actually wrote that you should eat it with fructose because it can increase the metabolism of alcohol.
So the fructose of fruit, though.
Like fruit.
Natural fructose.
And then there's probably something to a good espresso martini, which we can all stand by because caffeine activates.
Okay, I've never had one.
What?
I've never had one either.
Oh, okay.
But my girlfriend,
Jess and I talk about this because I drink a lot more than Jess.
Yeah.
She's like, you're weird for drinking. I'm like, I think it's an amazing tool. I've always.
No, I love it. I just like don't drink.
Yeah.
I drank when I lived in San Francisco because I feel like there was like really good restaurants to go to. There was fun bars to go to. But like once I moved back to Orange County, it just didn't have the same,
like where do you,
to it.
Yeah.
So like
Because you were a different stage of life.
I was also in a different stage of life. And I just stopped drinking. But like I don't stop. Like obviously if I'm here or like if I'm out and like feeling it. But it's very rare.
Yeah. We'll give you margaritas right when you walk in over here.
Exactly, and I love it.
Mom drinks margaritas. People always ask, what do you drink? And we drink mostly clear alcohol. Tequila, that's clear.
I'll have a glass of champagne.
Oh, yeah. You love champagne.
Usually I don't even drink the whole glass. And then sometimes I'll have a margarita. Pure, though. I just do pure with lime and club soda or Pellegrino.
Yeah.
A spicy margarita.
I'm so sensitive to spicy. I can't do spicy.
Oh yeah, we've talked about this.
I'm just delicate.
I know.
I don't know. I am like equally
I can do
delicate.
spices. Got more of that Latin blood.
When I used to love spicy foods, but when I started peating, for some reason, my tolerance for spicy food went down. Which they say the spicy food can increase your serotonin, so it might be in my mind.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I love spicy food.
Me too.
But yeah.
But not too spicy.
Tolerable.
Again,
but I just love that little,
Yeah, I think the dirty little secret is that people that do drink moderately tend to live longer lives, and there could be confounding factors. Maybe they're happier, maybe their cortisol's lower, maybe they're spending more time with family. But I think a lot of times in this like biohacky culture that we live in, it's like, I don't drink.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, you're not fun, and that's not fun.
Well, you can be fun without drinking alcohol.
No, I know.
No, you can definitely be fun without drinking alcohol, but like you got to replace it with a fun drink. Like you have to be making beautiful little mocktails at home. Like,
right.
And you got to pick up that energy, and you got to be.
So if you're not going to drink the alcohol, that's totally okay. Just make yourself a special little mocktail so you can feel special, cute, fun.
Yeah.
flirty.
Right. Yeah. It's all, I do view like, cause alcohol consumption's going down so much. We used to drink so much more alcohol, like even in the 1970s. And it's kind of like this loss. I mean, I think in the olden days, like villages used alcohol as a way of like collective breathing, like a sigh as like a collective, sort of action. And now we're more disjointed and we stay in and we don't talk to people, but I'm not saying I do that too. So I'm not saying I just kind of think that it's probably downstream of, lack of community.
Mm-hmm. And like cancel culture. If you had like one too many drinks, you're canceled. Like you could say something that's like not safe.
Right.
You could do something that's not safe.
Right.
Everything's filmed. Like, not that I'm saying like go get so drunk out of your mind, but like it's just like, you know, like everyone's nervous about their next move and nobody can really trust anyone. So it's like this weird feeling, I think. So it's like easier to, if you're like, if I'm just like sober and like do everything that everyone says is okay, then I'm not going to step out of line and everything's going to be fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. In a way, alcohol equates to imperfection. It's something that society's like
A little messy, which is life.
Metabolically messy, emotionally messy. It's almost like something where our society's starving for, but is kind of avoiding because I guess it's bad for your health when all pretty much like
Everyone's making compromises that are bad for their health every single day.
That's right.
Even the healthiest person, you make a small allowance being like, you know, like there's like these beautiful biohackers out there that's like, well, I just do a little bit of Botox actually because it's necessary if I do it this, or it's actually necessary for me to like wear my like aloe leggings. Everyone's making compromises, but some things are like holier than thou or allowed to be made.
Yeah, well, and yeah, some people get orthorexia where you just everything.
Oh my gosh,
can only
yeah.
you cannot get out of the line, so which is also
It's a slippery
very
slope.
stressful to yourself and other people that there is no adaptability and flexibility in life.
and there's no like looseness to
Yes.
their energy.
Their nervous system is in extreme sympathetic mode.
Yeah. There's also like something to like praying over your food and praying over for your meal or like having a blessing over your food or the time you're spending with friends that just changes everything energetically.
It does.
That is nice.
Yeah.
Totally. That being said, there's certain alcohols I think that are like beer has hops in it, which is estrogenic,
Right.
but a lot of the studies use really high doses of hops. So I want to be like honest that I think a lot of people can't be when they're drinking beer every single day. That might be a lot of hops that are estrogenic. That's why men get man boobs after they drink a lot of beer.
That hard belly.
But I mean, I think a little bit beer probably it's not going to do anything. It's just a little bit of anything won't have like serious effects. But also red wine can have sulfites, and a lot of times those crops are like heavily sprayed with pesticides as well.
Right. So if you drink wine, it should be organic.
Mm-hmm.
European wines tend to be less intoxicated than American wine.
There's also like really beautiful organic biodynamic wines now.
Yeah,
They're so delicious.
Right.
we should drink some. We'll drink some on the next the next episode.
The next pod, we have espresso martinis, and then we're going to have some wine.
Your both
You
your
can
guys.
make healthy versions of all this too. So.
Yeah, a cajarillo. Do you know what that is?
No.
That Mexican drink that's like wait, is it cajarillo? It's a cocktail of espresso liqueur 43. It's really popular in Mexico. They're yummy. But yeah, I think in moderation, like there are actually a lot of benefits to alcohol that no one wants to talk about. But if you're eating it with like fish oils and vegetable oils, it can activate iron and cause oxidative damage. So
And in excess,
and in excess, it's very hard on the liver, and you have probably some emotional disruption that you're compensating for to escape. If we're being real,
So if you're going to do it with people you love, enjoy it, be safe.
Yes.
Yeah, and address your emotional status, your general
Do a little
emotion.
check-in. Journal entry before.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of what else I wrote for our notes on alcohol that could be helpful. Yeah, I mean, I use alcohol as a tool. It helps me work creatively. Like I love, sitting down and working after I've had like a small allotment of tequila or wine or champagne. But I have like an internal gauge that says stop drinking right now. And I never overdo it really.
That's good.
Yeah. But some people don't have that. So I recognize that this might be the context in which this information, like it has to be adapted to your.
Yeah. And when you're
individual.
creatively working, it's usually like an evening situation.
Yeah.
It's not clocking in at 8 a.m. with a glass of wine.
That being said, a lot of the Roman soldiers mixed wine with water before they went into battle for a little bit. They probably needed that to creatively do their best work.
That was the first Gatorade.
But yeah, I think quality, quantity, context matters with this. But that is kind of why we don't totally. Oh, I did text Jess this yesterday.
That was so beautiful.
Yeah, because I was doing research about alcohol, and so alcohol suppresses dreams, but then there becomes a buildup of dreams that need to be had. And when alcohol's gone, the brain rebounds with really intense dreams.
Do you think that with TCM, how they say like when you're having a lot of crazy dreams, it's usually because your
What's TCM?
Traditional Chinese medicine.
Oh.
TCM. It's usually when you're having crazy dreams, it's your liver detoxing. So maybe when you're like drinking, it like kind of stalls it for a minute. And then once you can finally stop, or
Then
not can, but you finally stop drinking, the dreams kind of catch up and detox.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it says the brain stores up something called dream pressure. This is literally true. And when alcohol's gone. And so I bet that has to do with the liver working again. But yeah, if alcohol use continues, the process is blocked for too long and the dreaming breaks through waking life, causing delirium and hallucinations.
Yeah. So again, shouldn't be an everyday ingestion, so.
Moderation's key.
Yeah, low PUFA, fructose, quality. What other tips could be? Community. And having fun. Okay, so now it's time for some pulse check.
Question.
House calls. Yes, I'm gonna go through. I'm 39 and I've been diagnosed with hypothalamic amenorrhea. Do I need estrogen? Intercourse is so painful, so a nurse practitioner gave me vaginal estrogen. It didn't help after being on it for a couple of years. Any recommendations? Maybe pelvic therapy?
So she's 39. Mm-hmm. So she's 39, so she should have natural production of hormones. But if she has a hypothalamic pituitary axis problem, someone needs to help her with that. Okay, so she needs to really find a medical doctor who first understands that hypothalamic pituitary disruption, which is a lot of times caused from stress. But if you fix that axis, there's actually things you can take, like hypothalamic pituitary, supplements, actually. But it's never one thing. There's never just a magic bullet for that. Then someone needs to check all of her hormones, like everything. Check the entire pituitary, but FSH, LH, all of her thyroid, pregnenolone, DHEA, all the hormones, and try to understand why she's having it. Is she going through premature ovarian failure where she's not making it? But a lot of times I've turned on women's ovarian failure also. And because it's not normal for you to be having ovarian failure at 39. Mm-hmm. And so this is something that I think can be really easily fixed. And so she just has to, we can't just be reactive. We've got to analyze every person, but you've got to not only analyze from looking at blood tests, she probably should have prolactin. If she has elevated prolactin, that would maybe interfere with the hypothalamic pituitary axis. And then what is her lifestyle? What is her lifestyle? Like, how do you sleep? The water, the eating, getting sunshine, living life with the flow. And we're living in a world of extreme exposures to so many things, whether it's EMF, whether it's toxicity, whether it's estrogenic compounds, even heavy metals are problematic. So we've got to really understand every single thing that's going on, and she just needs to find the right practitioner person to get their hypothalamic pituitary axis in order, because the hypothalamus is the brain's brain, okay? So the hypothalamus sends releasing hormones to the pituitary, and then pituitary sends stimulating hormones to all of your body to make your whole endocrine system work. And it's this incredible concert of hormones and really these increasing, decreasing, and it's just this magical celebration going on each and every day of your body taking care of you. And the endocrine system, these are your natural hormone chemical messengers that turning your body on naturally, on and off. And so obviously her hypothalamic is being stressed for some reason. So
I wonder if she could do like a cyclical progesterone too to try to like
right, cyclical
resume.
progesterone, maybe correcting her pregnenolone.
I was just going to say pregnenolone.
And really getting her stressed, letting her body, because a lot of times that gets disturbed because of chronic elevated stress. So cortisol needs to be checked through saliva cortisol testing, and you can do blood testing too, but the blood, if you just collect it one time, and cortisol has this circadian rhythm. So we have to honor the rules and laws of the body and get those working for each individual person.
This was kind of a part 2 to this question. I'm sorry I broke it up, but it says, I have a pituitary prolactinoma. And the last MRI shows it is now a cyst. My doctors are confused how this tumor is affecting my hormones. So she might have really high prolactin because of the cyst.
So this is another person.
No, sorry, it's connected. Part two.
Oh, okay. So if she has elevated prolactin, so that I think I see that a lot now in women who aren't, going to have breast milk and breastfeeding and all that kind of stuff. But I do see elevated prolactin. And again, that has to do with stress. Mm-hmm. And I do think environmental exposures, especially EMFs, I think electromagnetic fields really affect like our entire body. And that system is just so profound in the organization of your day-to-day. And she probably ought to limit her, incorporate some tools of avoiding high influence.
Should she get the cyst removed maybe?
No, not necessarily.
Okay.
That's a procedure, and very invasive procedure to get to your pituitary. So I would try to do everything externally, and before I would do anything invasively. And then she's got to check all of her hormones. Okay, like of course that might be affecting the production of all her hormones, because again, like I said, the hypothalamic pituitary is basically this unbelievable conductor and instruments all playing, and they all have their place. And prolactin is just one of many. And so
it's all a little concerning because they put her on vaginal estrogen, and estrogen can even promote prolactin to go even higher.
Right. So, and at 39, you shouldn't. So we want to turn the body on, not give it things that might turn it off. And I've used progesterone also to help, a cyclical progesterone to mimic the body's physiology to help prolactin. But again, you have to address every facet of the human being. It's never just like, okay, just do this and you're fine. No, there's no such thing. I've never seen it.
We need to do an entire episode on prolactin because Jess and I were just talking about prolactin, and
such an interesting
Such an interesting hormone.
It is.
All of them are interesting.
Yeah,
and
they
they're all
all
important and they're all beautiful, and like just you have to just know what their function is and
Yes.
how to keep them all in harmony.
There's no shortcut. Like if you want to outsource that information to your doctor, good luck.
Yeah.
You got to learn the basics of each hormone. I think it should be mandatory women school.
Well, no, I think it should be mandatory that mommies learn about their bodies, and then they're going to create a miracle. They need to learn for themselves and to teach their baby. So,
Yeah, and prolactin is, I mean, I would also look into thyroid issues because a lot of women that have high prolactin, I think it's like 20% of people that have high prolactin also have hypothyroidism.
right.
I mean, I know she has like a cyst, but
Every hormone is important. Okay.
And I might be confused, but is she on the estrogen because it's painful for her to have sex?
she didn't.
No, she probably
didn't
is
say
on the
that.
estrogen
said that-
because something is affecting the production of the hormones, is what I am.
She says intercourse is painful. Oh, sorry, you're right. She said intercourse is painful, and
right,
that's why-
painful. So,
but she could also try just progesterone for vaginal use or coconut
Or
oil.
DHEA.
Or DHEA.
or coconut oil.
Again, estrogen can promote prolactin, so you don't want to do things that are compounding the problem.
Yeah, so she just needs a person who really needs to understand the hormonal orchestra and then what's exactly going on in her system.
Yeah. I have a little PDF, I think, on hormones that can help too.
Right.
Like I said, just I feel like understanding the basics. Because even people will say like, oh, should I go on HRT? And I'm like, the word HRT doesn't make sense because hormones have literally opposite functions. Like it's not, you should go on HRT. It's like, you should figure out exactly what you need.
Exactly.
It just sounds so simple.
Yeah.
Like, oh, my friend went on HRT. Oh, this person's on
Yeah.
HRT. Like
No.
it's not a one size fits all.
And I find that doctors who do hormones, they don't do all the hormones. And you can't just do hormones. You've got to make sure the person is living their life in, order and with, some kind, like if you're not sleeping, like you're not going to have hormonal balance.
yeah.
Okay. That's
You
like,
can't
that's
just
a
add one
basic.
thing and think it's going to be okay.
Yeah. So like sleep is like your day starts when you go to sleep and you need to sleep 8 to 9 hours. Everybody thinks, oh no, I only need 6 hours. I'm like, no, you don't just need 6 hours. You need many hours of sleep. That is when the magic happens, is when sleep, And then how are you, living your day? Because that's going to dictate how your hormones are produced. And so, and then you got to do all the hormones. It's not like just one hormone. It's all the hormones. It's your thyroid, your ovaries, testicles in men, your adrenal glands. What is the stress level? Because stress outrageously interrupts hormonal production.
And prolactin itself is a stress hormone.
Right. Correct.
So that's why this is pretty serious,
Yeah. So serious, and you need the right person who has the right understanding.
Yes. But thank you for the kind words. She wrote us a long note, and we're wishing you all the best. Hope this was helpful.
Yes.
And I guess follow along. We can.
Yeah.
I feel like
Stay tuned. We'll talk about it more.
We'll keep. I want to do a prolactin episode now. All right. Well, thank you guys. This was an amazing episode of Celluverse. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.
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 Celluverse is the podcast where we get real about what's making us sick and what it actually takes to get better. Hosted by Alana Keneally, Jess Donovan, and Dr. Lee Aaron Keneally, this show pulls back the curtain on mitochondria, metabolism, hormones, toxins, cancer, and all the stuff your doctor shrugs off. We dig into the science, but also the lived experience of what it means to be healthy in today's world.
Just a reminder, anything discussed on this podcast is not medical advice.
And nothing can actually harm you if you're pure of heart.